Another one saved by Jesus.
I have struggled with gender identity for most of my life. I've been in and out of the closet about 3 times. I've lived as an out trans woman for a solid decade. Um, and last spring, I just, I was just, feeling dead inside. I reached, and there's a lot to unpack with that because I'm not a new believer. I've always felt that someone was watching over me, obviously, because of the incredible things that have happened in life.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can get this.
So I always thought that there was a God and there was, someone watching over me, and including one time where I completely cheated death, and it was not some random coincidence. It was a force stopped me from, getting smushed, basically. So,
Probably not a coincidence at all.
but throughout all that, in my, I want to say, previous incarnation, there were many times I was trying to reach out to God to ask for some help with what I'm dealing with, but there was always like this shadowy, dark voice that would kind of, stop me and like pull me back in and spew out blasphemy and such. So this is back in late May, April, May, yeah, May 2025. I'm outside on the sidewalk of my building. I live downtown. There's a lot of people, and this East Indian lady comes up to me. And her name was Steffi, by the way, which I thought, I know a lot of East Indian people, and Steffi is not a really common name that I've heard. But anyways, she comes up to me. She says, "You're beautiful. Can I pray for you?" And before I could even make sense of what was happening, she grabbed both my hands and just kind of lowered her head and closed her eyes and just mumbled something, and then just kind of walked away. And by the time she got into the corner, I didn't see her anymore, right? But later,
Wow, that's a very nice gesture. Well done, lady.
I realized that it's May, so it's still fairly cool. I'm wearing a jacket. She was just wearing leggings and a long sleeve top, and I realized that she had nothing on her. No bag, no purse, no keys, no phone, no jewelry, nothing. And at that moment, I don't know. I felt, I can't explain it. I felt something different inside, not my head thinking, but just something inside.
I get it. Once you find Jesus, you totally feel different.
Because at this point, as I'm feeling dead inside and stuff, I'm trying to think to myself, there must be a way out of this that doesn't involve me unaliving myself. And so as the week went by, I'm trying to process this, and I'm just feeling different. There's just something deep down that isn't right. So at one point, I go to work, and we have a room upstairs. It's storage and whatnot. It is a mess in there, and I decided to clean the place out. Just organize and stuff. Go through your stuff. And on that day, my one Christian friend starts texting me. We hadn't spoken in a little bit, but she starts texting me. She's texting me prayers, texting me blessings.
You can tell he had a great friend.
And just basically texting me things in the context of like, you must fight against like Satan and such. And I'm just like, I remember texting her back on the first one going like, wow, your timing is impeccable, first of all. but as I'm going through all these bins and boxes, and she's texting me prayers,
Definitely not a coincidence at all.
I pulled out a plaque, just random. I'm going through boxes, taking stuff out, and then this plaque comes out, and the plaque says, "Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference."
Some very wise word right there. Everybody need to hear this.
And just something clicked. Something was just, this is what I needed to hear. This is what I needed to read. Coinciding with those prayers and blessings from my friend, coinciding with this Steffi lady the week prior who I think might have been an angel. And then just, it was just, I can't really put into words what I was feeling internally. Like things were just coming out of me. I don't know how else to say it.
He was just letting go of evil. It's obvious by now.
And at that very moment, it's like a switch went off, and it was like a decisive moment that this is the moment. I have to detransition and just simply accept the little weirdo that I am, right? Yeah. So that's kind of, I went home and I was like, the next day I was like, I didn't wear any makeup. I just felt differently. And I only have one Christian friend that I can talk to about this and stuff. So, we had a few discussions about that. And, at some point I'm like, yeah, like I'm ready for whatever's happening to go with that.
Definitely a great friend being there when you need it most.
And so she asked me, she was texting me things like, basically telling me to to acknowledge that I'm a sinner and to repent and to take up my cross, and what that insinuated. And yeah, I mean, that's already, I was already kind of there. I'm peeling off the layers, and it was a feeling inside, like something had been ripped out of me. So it wasn't like a, oops, I changed my mind kind of scenario. This is bigger than me. And so I went all in. I remember writing it down. I just grabbed a piece of paper, and I was like, Lord, I am a sinner. And I just went on about all the reasons and so on and so forth.
That makes sense. When you're feeling any kind of distress, it definitely helps to write it down, to let it go.
My friend took me to her church, and I was shaking, and I was breathing heavily, but like not in an anxiety way, in a something is releasing from me kind of way. And yeah, it's really hard to verbalize. But from that moment, I realized that, something out of my realm of comprehension had happened, because while what happened at work in the previous week before, and I'm trying to work on accepting who I am, all of a sudden, I'm not just accepting, I'm embracing. I've never, accepted that I was a biological man. And like now, that's all, that's how I want to live. That's who I am, and that's who I want to be.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. That's a great story. Finally, some wise words being shared right there. That's a beautiful story to hear. Thanks for sharing, dude.
And so yeah, I've been going to church every Sunday, and I know church is just the cherry on top. It's a place where like-minded individuals can gather and worship and pray and so forth. So it's not just that I'm basing everything on church.
Going to church is a great experience. Honestly, you will find a great community of like-minded people there.
I spent a couple months. I have read the entirety of the Bible from back to front, and I'm doing it a second time again. And there are many verses that had spoken to me, but because very much like my Christian friend who's helped me, we both had a rough life. You know, we were both, you know, little warriors in our own journeys and such. And I just remember reading Ephesians 6, 11 to 17, that like really spoke to me about putting on all of God's armor and such. And since then, I haven't looked back. I feel 1,000 pounds lighter.
That's great to hear. Honestly, even if you're not a Christian, reading the Bible is a great experience. It is a great book with a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, and it can help everybody.
I feel like the darkness that I've carried with me my whole life is gone. I'm no longer angry. I'm no longer bitter. I'm no longer spiteful. I'm actually kind of calm for the first time in my 50 years of existence. And I want to say happy. I had nothing to really compare the happy thing with, but I think I'm happy, even in this chaos that we live in this crazy world we're living in, and that's the best way that I can explain it. There was a moment I did feel like something was torn out of me, and everything changed. The way that I see things, the way that I hear things, the way that I perceive and interpret the world around me is completely different.
That's amazing to hear. Honestly, keep it up.
Than the previous 49 years of my existence.
Wow, 49 years. Did you hear that? He was a sinner for 49 years and now he just found Jesus and he's a total new man. Beautiful.
So I hope I've kind of, explained it to the best of my ability without making, like I said, a 6-hour documentary about it. But I come from abuse. I left home at 16. I never finished school, never got a driver's license, spent almost 3 decades, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I played in a lot of bands. I've been all across Canada, in parts of the United States. I have lived a life of absolute debauchery. Okay, it's actually a miracle that I'm still alive and that I don't look older than I am, because I have abused this thing. And as sometimes I said, I got lucky. No, it wasn't luck. Somebody knew and somebody was watching over me.
God always has a plan for you.
And maybe that somebody was just waiting for this moment, my moment, to intervene.
Definitely. Yes, no coincidence here.
And help me out on this new path. There's no looking back now. I mean, honestly, now that I'm, 68 days in or whatever, this is everything you need.
Yes, it is.
That's all I can say. I can only speak for myself. I'm not going to hate on anyone because I believe kindness, just be nice to people in general. So I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. I hope this kind of explains or whatever.
Yes,
this is my story. I went from decades of dealing with identity issues to finally not only accepting but embracing the fact that I'm a man, and I'm really enjoying finally, you know what, like buying men's clothes. I work in clothing, so it's really easy for me to come across clothes. I work in resale. It's like
That's good to hear. Honestly, enjoy the small things in life. They are the best.
hand clothing. But it's been a lot of fun, and my Christian friend, my one Christian friend, is also my hairstylist who's been doing my hair for many years, and I got her to chop off all my hair recently, and it feels great. All I need now is to save $1,000 to get some new glasses, because I feel like these glasses are a little bit silly right now, but it's what I have to see, and my prescription is very expensive, so one step at a time.
One step at a time. Great story, honestly, dude. You look great, and it's only gonna get better from here. Congratulations on finding God, on finding Jesus, on stop being a sinner, and finding your ways. You can tell that he had a great friend right there that helped him find the light again. So, as you can see, if you are a Christian, it's probably a good idea to spread the gospel and do what you can to help everyone around you find the light and find Jesus if you can. This can only help them and improve their life for the better, just like in this case right there. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and click right there to watch the next one. Bye bye.